guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana and today I am finally going to be reviewing the this one's new shade of the Dime Wonderscreen SPF 30. So they finally came out with more shades. I was so excited to see that. I only got this shade. I originally had, this is their normal one, it's like the middle shade, and then they came out with a deeper shade. And for me, obviously, it's just not going to work. I know for swatches it would be nice, but I think you kind of will be able to tell if you need the darker shade or not. So I apologize in advance for not having that one, but they're not cheap and I do buy everything with my own money. So I picked up the newer one. I don't even think it has like a name. I wish they had like shade 1, shade 2, shade 3, but it's pretty obvious. The lightest one is this kind of off-white, almost like beige color, and then this kind of tan, I don't know, grayish, deep grayish is the middle shade. And then of course, like I said, they have a deeper shade. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm going to be putting both on my face. I am finally, well, my body's still a little bit tan from the summer, but I would say my face is pretty much my normal shade, like winter-ish shade, which it always is because I wear sunscreen all the time. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the lighter shade on this side and then the middle shade on this side. And I have a feeling I'm going to put a combination on my forehead, which sometimes I do, because I think, unfortunately, this is gonna be too light and this is gonna be too deep. So I'll get into all of that in a second. If you're not already subscribed, please do. It always helps my channel, and I come out with videos, I think twice a week. I come out with a lot of videos, so it really does help, and I appreciate when you do like and subscribe. And always comment if you have any questions or if you just wanna say hi, and I'll say hi back. I always respond. So let's get into the video. Okay, like I said, I'm gonna be putting it on. This is more for like the actual shade versus how much to apply, you know, the specifics of the sunscreen. If you are looking for the specifics of the sunscreen, I will link my original video, which is with this original shade. It'll give you the price, it'll give you like all of the information on it. This new one is exactly the same, it's just a different shade. But just so you do have a little bit of information, these retail for $44. They're not cheap. It's 1.7 ounces or 50 milliliters. And it is this really like hefty kind of, I think it's glass packaging. So I do like that. If you don't like plastic, this is not that. It looks beautiful on your countertop, I always say that. And it's tinted SPF mineral sunscreen. The active ingredients in it are 19% zinc oxide. I believe that's for both. Yep. They do have butylactyl salicylate, so I like to mention that because sometimes that can irritate people's skin. But other than that, it's pretty much the same. I mean, it is the same, it's just a different shade. So I'm gonna be putting it on my face. What I'm gonna do when I do it, kind of like not showing you the exact correct amount, I normally do my 1/4 teaspoon, but when I'm doing it this way, it doesn't really work. So I'm gonna do kind of a finger length, but since I'm only doing it on my cheek, it's really not gonna be like exactly that amount. But I do want to show you kind of closer to the right amount because it does impact the shade and what the shade kind of ends up looking like on your face. If you just put like one little dot, you're not going to see anything. But if you're putting the correct amount on, it can either be too light or too dark depending on the shade. So with all that said, I'm just going to put this on my face. Look at that. I'm not gonna go down my neck just because, again, this is not meant for like amount that you're using. It's more just for the shade so you guys can see the shade. Okay, now we're gonna put the original on the other side. I think I did like 3 pumps-ish. You can see already how much darker that is. All right, so you can see a very clear difference. I look like a half man, half woman type, or not half man, half woman, but you know what I'm talking about, like a character out of a cartoon or something. Wow. Okay, let's move on. So this side is the newer, lighter shade, and I probably could rub it in a little bit more, but it's definitely got a light undertone. And at my very palest, I could maybe wear it. I would probably want to put bronzer or something on because I look a little deathly. And then on this side, it's obviously much closer to a shade that I would want to wear, but it still pulls quite rich and like deep on me. And when I wear the full 1/4 teaspoon around my face, I do feel there's a very pronounced difference between my face and my neck in terms of the color. And so it's like one of those things I can kind of only wear in the summertime when I'm tanner. That said, it's very thick, or not thick, well, it is thicker, but it's a very kind of moisturizing sunscreen. So for me to be able to wear it in the summer, it would need to be a little bit more matte because it's too hot and humid here. So it's not something I mean, it is beautiful. It's just not necessarily for my skin type. If I had more dry skin, I think I could be able to wear it in the summer more often. But again, I just am not able to for those reasons. So what I'm gonna do now is what I've been thinking is gonna work the best. Since these are the same formula, I'm not really worried about mixing them. If it were from a different brand or if it were a different formula, then you're not really supposed to mix sunscreens. But again, these are from the same brand, these are the same formula, and I'm gonna mix them in my hand and then put that on my face. Cat hairs are part of life, and they're in every part of my house. I think I need a little bit more of the darker shade. I wish the camera could pick up on the cat hairs just like flying. And then they stick to me and get in my nose. But yeah. Okay, this is a very imprecise science. And what I think I'm gonna do now is you can see that this is gonna be a much, much better shade, a mixture of the two. And what I'm gonna do with my hands, they're already covered in sunscreen, I'm gonna mix my whole face and like mix it all together to see what it looks like, because we're doing this for science. We're not doing this to show you like how to use sunscreen. I think when I mix them, I'm going to get the perfect color for me. Yeah. I had a feeling it was gonna end up like this. I really did. Okay, so that's it. I still feel like a little darker on one side, but again, I'm not doing this to show you how to use it. I'm just doing it to show you the shades. I think for me, these sunscreens, the shades are so different that it's really hard to kind of know what category you fall into. Now, I think this middle shade, their original shade, will probably work for more people, but it's probably because they're not using enough. Like I've seen Taylor Wynn put it on and she puts like, I don't know, like maybe a finger length for her whole face. And it's giving you protection, but if you really want to get the full SPF 30 for the amount of time that you should be getting. So the issue with that is then if you are like me and maybe like you're in the more light medium skin tone, this combination of the two is what you probably need, which means it's $88. They may have it bundled and it's like $80, I don't know. But again, like that's a lot of money to spend for two sunscreens. You can't really travel with them that easily. They're pretty heavy. They're a little bulky. I mean, they're pretty, but they are not the greatest for travel. So I wouldn't necessarily say like run out and grab these unless you know that either of these shades is gonna work for you. And I do think that like if you have paler skin, if you're on the lighter side of things, this could be wonderful for you. But this one, unless you're just not using enough, which, you know, do you. If you only want to use a little, it will work in that regard. But if you have more medium, light medium skin, or you tan easily, this is going to be better for you. So I've been interested in trying it. I've had it sitting there. I knew it was going to be too light, but now I know I just need to mix them. And don't come at me for saying not to mix your sunscreens because these are the same formula, just different shades. So I'm okay with that. Anyway, guys, I will see you in the next one. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.